Nation and Dayquil. It's the GameCritics.com podcast. It's episode 31. I'm Tim Spaeth. A great show on tap for you this week. Let's first say hello to the regulars. Back in the pole position, here's Game Critics founder and owner Chi Kong Liu. Hello, Chi.
Hey, Tim. How's it going?
Going really well, apart from the horrible illness that I'm suffering from. How's your health?
I'm doing fine, actually.
Right. Good. I'm jealous and a little angry about that, actually. Also joining us, senior editor of Game Critics, Brad Gallaway. Hello, Brad.
Hey, Tim. Hey, everybody. Good to be here tonight.
Great to have you. And rounding out the cast, critic and horror geek, Mike Bracken. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Tim. I am a little under the weather as well.
Awesome. That makes me feel a little bit better. Now, let me ask you this. We are hours out from the gold medal Olympic hockey game, and you, as a hockey connoisseur, I would be remiss in my duties as host if I didn't ask you for your impressions of the game.
Oh, man, I was, really torn because, I'm American, but I'm a Penguins fan, and I love Sidney Crosby to death. So if America was going to lose in overtime, Sid getting that goal was the best way it could happen. So I feel like I won even though America lost. Great game, great day for hockey. Really happy for Sid. Go Pens.
Would you agree with Bob Costas that it was the most important event in human history?
No, not quite.
That's what he asked us all to believe, and I wasn't entirely sure. So,
he's been really strange since he started dyeing his hair so dark. I don't know what's going on with that, but
yeah, he aged 20 years overnight. I don't quite know how that happened.
Yeah,
once boyish, now elderly. Anyway, we digress. Listen, incredible show tonight. Joining us for the first time ever, not one, but two guests. They're both returning favorites. They've both been on previously, both superstars of the independent games scene. Let's introduce them now. Nathan Fouts of Mommy's Best Games. Nathan, hello, sir.
Hi, everybody. How's it going? Guess what? I brought pie.
Oh,
all right.
Love that.
Such a guy.
Does it have a Cool Whip?
Yeah. No. As long as the pie is good, you don't need Cool Whip. Trust me.
All right.
That's a good point. A pie in its native form, if prepared properly, is the best kind of pie.
It's pie. You don't need Cool Whip.
Well, Nathan, your new game is Shoot 1 Up. It's just out now on the Xbox Live Marketplace under the Independent Games banner. We're going to talk about it in just a moment. But before that, also with us, back for his second appearance, it's Brian Jury from Epicenter Studios. Hello, Brian.
Hey, guys. How's it going up there?
It's going well. Well. It's so good to have you back. You have just announced your new game. It's the hotly anticipated Rock of the Dead, and we will be talking about that as well. I have a lot of questions about both games, actually. And obviously, for everybody listening, our topic this week, kind of the state of independent games, life as an independent developer, and of course, catching up with our old friends, Nathan and Brian. Now, for those who missed their original appearances, I just want to give you the episode numbers in case you want to go back and listen to them. Nathan's first appearance was way back in episode 11, which was actually recorded a year ago this weekend, exactly a year ago, which is, I know, what a special way to spend that anniversary. So episode 11 for Nathan, episode 19 for Brian, and in those episodes we kind of went over your biographies, your transition from working with the big budget AAA development studios to transitioning into the independent scene, and both those episodes kind of ended on cliffhangers, and I want to start there because, Nathan, when we recorded your show, you had not yet received the sales figures for your first indie game, although at the time it was under the Community Games banner. That game, of course, Weapon of Choice. And not long after your appearance, you got those sales figures, and you had a fairly, how would you describe your response? It was a public response.
It was kind of like dun dun dun. That's how I felt. Yeah, and then barfing sounds afterwards. There was a whole lot of weird misinformation floating around, but we had anticipated higher sales and we got lower sales, and that doesn't make a cool equation for making a living. So, but we're adjusting, and filet mignon is now ramen noodles mignon. So, but we're coming back up. We're like the Jeffersons. We're moving on up. We're gonna do okay.
So not just one game, but 2 games in the pipeline. Like I said, we're going to talk about those. Brian, when we had you on the show last, the cliffhanger we left on was that your game, Epicenter Studios' game, Real Heroes Firefighter, it was actually on the verge of coming out. I had seen it at a Best Buy that day, and since then, this was last summer, it has come out. I have not seen any sales figures. I haven't really don't know how well it did. Can you talk about sort of the critical reaction to the game and your reaction to the sales figures, which I assume you have some knowledge of at this point?
Actually, I don't have the actual sales figures. There's a variety of reasons for that, but VG Chart says we did about 250,000, which I think is probably in the high end. But for us, we never expected to make money off of it. What we were really kind of doing is hoping to build, the name for the studio, and in that sense, it worked because we've got a couple of gigs since then.
So 250,000, that's fantastic. That's
according to VG Charts, which
okay.
I think that's an educated guess at best.
Statistics 101.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, no more statistics. No more statistics. Let's not go back down that road, sir. Wow. And what about the critical reaction to Firefighter? I ended up buying it about a week after you were on the show. I had a fantastic time with the game. I've been telling everyone to go pick this game up because it's something different and special for the Wii. What did you think of the critical reaction to it?
I thought, with very few exceptions, the critical reaction was very fair. I have no complaints at all. We learned a ton about how to make a game better from the critical response. In general, people have been really good and really honest with us, and that's how we learn how to make better games.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Well, that's great news. I'm glad to hear that. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for coming on the show.
This has been one of our best episodes ever.
I really think so. Let's quit while we're ahead. No, that's great. So I guess based on what happened with your first game, how did that directly shape your next move? I mean, what specific changes did you make? How did you change your approach to development and publishing and promotion? And I'll let either of you jump in there.
Well, sure. So I guess... I mean, it's such an eye-opening experience to release your first thing out there, and really, again, the critical response. We read every single review that we can get our hands on, and even message boards, which is more depressing than anything. But we definitely learned a lot as far as I really feel like you learn more in failures than you do in successes. And we had a lot of issues with the game. Like, we never really got the distribution we wanted. We were never in Walmart. We were never in Target. We were barely in Best Buys, even though you can get it online anywhere. Like, you just couldn't find it anywhere. And so moving forward, when we signed our next game, Rock of the Dead, we definitely learned from a lot of those kind of mistakes and kind of figured out what not to do. That was probably one of our biggest, is really just, hey, what did we do wrong? Let's not do that again.
We're kind of in a strange situation because we do distribute directly through Microsoft on their downloadable service, and because we're on indie games, we'd like to have our games on Live Arcade because there's less competition essentially and higher price points. So when I was designing Grapple Buggy, it's more like when I was looking for the next game, I went through all my game ideas and kind of looked at the one that I, tried to figure out the one that I thought was strongest, that had the, most appeal currently, and that kind of thing, and went with that. And also went with the one that would be able to look sizable, be big enough to hopefully look attractive to get on Live Arcade. And we're in talks with different people, so that's the good news. And then at some point, I decided to smoke pot and make shit one up. So. That's like, I don't know, that's like a lucid dream or something, but coming out of it now.
I guess I wanted to ask you about that because Grapple Buggy seemed to be the next game, and then all of a sudden Shoot One Up just kind of it came out of nowhere, and then suddenly it was out, and I was like, wait a second, this is moving much faster than I had anticipated. At what point did you decide to divert from the grapple buggy plan and make this little sidetrack to shoot one up?
Well, we entered Grapple Buggy into Dream Build Play 2009, and that's Microsoft's competition where they hand out some money and also have the live arcade team look at your games. And we entered it into that competition and actually didn't place and didn't get into top 20 at all, which you didn't send me into a depression spiral for months and months, but it should have. But instead, I just took on some other work to make money, to make ends meet for a while there. And during that time, we were making decent money on the side. And then I thought, well, I'm not quite working every day of the week like I normally do on my own games. I've got a little spare time. Why don't I make a game? So it's kind of stupid. So in the spare time that I had, even though we already had a game started, I thought I'd make a small game, and my wife laughs. But anyway, so I started working on that, and then the part-time work stopped, and then came back on full-time on the Shoot One Up, and it was really polishing up nicely, and I was getting a lot of good press and good previews, and people were really pumped about it. So we decided to put in the final push and try to make a game out of it. Coming back to Grapple Buggy, though, obviously, I'll get back more to that at some point.
That's actually not so strange. It actually mirrors the Hong Kong director Wong Kar-wai, where he was making this big budget epic film, Ashes of Time, and then in between that, he made a smaller film. Mike, can you help me out with that smaller film?
Yeah, I don't remember which one he made in there. It wasn't In the Mood for Love, was it?
No, I don't think so. It was
Yeah.
God. I don't remember what that movie was.
Well,
It's not you're not allowed to spring these obscure Hong Kong movie questions on me without advance warning. I was not prepared to discuss Wong Kar-wai tonight. I'm sorry, but now you made me look like an ass. Yeah, you totally made me look like an ass.
Anyway, sorry about that. Yeah.
Mike loses some face points there.
God,
that's a cool point, Chi. It's like Grapple Buggy. I have all these big ideas, and it is a big game. But really, I'm the main developer on the game. We've got Hamdia does the music, and I do the game. And so it got huge, and I'm spread a little thin on it there for a while. And so then we just kind of had to rein it back in and look at it again. And it's like this mammoth design, and so when you look at Shoot One Up, it's really exciting, to just kind of move over and do this cool little tiny thing, and then come back to the mammoth design and finish it at some point. But we're coming back full strength to Grapple Buggy to make it awesome, without a question. And then actually, it's done as expected. Some time off has done wonders to hone the design and make it much better.
Hey guys, if I can jump in a little bit, I kind of would like to get back to something that we kind of alluded to a little earlier, and that's kind of like the financial side. I mean, Nathan, you mentioned doing some work on the side, and Brian, you mentioned that your intent with Firefighter wasn't necessarily to make a ton of cash, although I'm sure you wouldn't have turned it down, but to kind of make a name for yourself in the studio. I mean, how does that really break down in practical terms? Because I know that there's a lot of people out there, a lot of fans who think that, I mean, they just don't really have an idea of how games get made. They don't really know what the life of a developer is like. And I'm sure that, a lot of us think that you guys have, infinite money and it's all, babes and booze and coke all over the place. But, I'm sure that's not really what it is.
There's really no other answer to give, but...
Well, but seriously, though, I mean, so based on the knowledge that, Weapon of Choice didn't do as well as it deserved to, and it really did deserve to, and, with the question mark of Firefighter being out there, not really knowing how much money you guys actually made, I mean, how does that even go into your life on a daily basis? I mean, you guys may have families, you may have responsibilities. I mean, I'm sure you live somewhere. You're not developing in a cardboard box in the street. I mean, everybody's got bills. I mean, can you guys talk about the practical side of kind of being a smaller developer? I'd like to hear more about that.
Yeah, so we have really great contracts with our publishers where we would see a significant percentage of royalties if we reach certain sales figures that are pretty attainable just because our budgets are really small. But having said that, there's a lot of hands on the pot between your publisher, between the distributor, between the retailers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We would have to sell more than I think we thought we would have to sell to see something in the back end. But at the same time, that's nothing that we ever really, really expected nor counted on. Having said that, with the economy, I don't know if you guys have heard, the economy is pretty bad right now.
Oh, is it
way,
really?
bro.
Yeah, yeah. There's issues, I guess. Cash is definitely hard to come by, and credit is not as hard to come by, but it's definitely hard to come by. So we actually, and I'm not proud at all to say it because it really kind of ate me up inside. We actually missed payroll for about a month last year, and that, man, it sucks. It really, really sucks. But we generally, we get paid from our publisher. It's really kind of small payments, but I mean, we get these kind of monthly payments for milestones, and so in general, we're in pretty good shape last year, and so far this year. Same thing with Rock of the Dead. We think that there's probably a better chance of getting better distribution and a little bit more of a kind of a nerd boy capability of possible selling this thing. So we might see something in the back end, but at the same time, we're building infrastructure, we're buying more equipment, and we're learning on the job, and it really is an investment. Even if we make $0, we learn and we grow. Although it'd be nicer to make more than $0.
I was going to say it's great to learn life lessons, but I don't know about you guys, but when I learned life lessons and earned $0, like my family's not too happy, and neither am I. So I mean, that's got to be kind of a tough situation to be in. Nathan, what about you? I know you're kind of in that similar boat. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, like, we've been learning and fortunately getting to pay for a few things here and there, but in our case, technically we're the publisher and we're the developer, and Microsoft's just the distributor. But we do get quarterly payments from Weapon of Choice sales, and it's been okay, but it wouldn't cover our whole year of living, or the next or anything like that. And that's why I went out to look for some other work. And I know, worked with some people on the side that I used to work with, and that helped pay for things. And also, it wasn't hard, so I kind of like, work for that in the day, design and such at night, and that's kind of how Shoot One Up started happening. The other thing is the Xbox 360 indie games scene is like the Wild West on steroids. It is so freaky, and it is so fast moving in terms of how to react business wise, but also game design wise as to what's hot and what's going on at the time. So it keeps you on your toes, and we actually changed our whole strategy with Shoot One Up to just kind of say, let's go for super broad approach and as low as it goes, $1, and we only spend 3 months on it and see what happens, as opposed to the bigger games, which is what I'd like to do, like Grapple Buggy, and raise the price on it. Let's just see what a smaller game would do, and we're still waiting on sales on that, but hopefully it's doing okay. So,
Nathan, can I ask you, going back to what you said in the previous appearance here, is
Sure.
sort of that community games dream that you had, is that sort of dead in some ways?
There's a lot of me that's dead now. I'm 5% living at this point. It is like I said, that is so. It's so sort of instinctive, the way you have to market things there. You can get press, but you basically live by your box and your name. And not that doesn't happen in retail. It certainly does. But you're on that little new arrivals list, and you get a split second of attention. You basically get about 2 to 3 days before you get shunted off that. And if you don't get on the top downloads, then that was it. You lose. So that's why the cover of Shoot One Up looks like the way it does.
Can since you brought it up, I have to ask the question, particularly because your wife is sitting right by you. What was her reaction to the, I think it's the 5th level, which is basically a lot of nude women lying prone, and then, of course, I don't think I'm spoiling anything because it's on the box cover, it's a woman with giant metal breasts shooting bullets. What was her reaction the first time she saw that?
Can I jump in?
No, she was thrilled.
I've been disturbed by Nathan since the day I met him, so it's just of course.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. He's
She
got
really
no ways
did.
away from our
I was
podcast.
really happy
This is
with
the podcast first.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's so great.
Yeah, she's happy with it. She loved every minute of it. She actually suggested that. She said, "Why not a naked woman level?" Let's do that.
Did she tell you the first chicks you had weren't hot enough that maybe they needed to be bigger breasted or something like that?
I had to live through him drawing the grapple buggy commander.
Javea on the. I don't know if you some of the concept art for one of the women that the woman that drives the grapple buggy, is pretty seductive. So she had that, which involved a lot of nude reference, and we went from there. Our marriage has grown stronger.
I do have Javea coincidentally on my screen, and I have to say that outfit doesn't seem conducive to driving a grapple buggy.
It's a futuristic spandex.
I see.
It holds really well, and also maybe there's no gravity on that planet. Hell, I don't know. We have decided.
Very well. Perhaps once I played the game, it will make more sense.
Oh yeah, it'll make a lot of sense once you play the game.
It all comes together.
Once you've given it your cash, it makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah.
So I want to talk about the independent games tab over there on Xbox Live. I mean, in the last year, there've really been just two changes. It's now called Independent Games.
Indie games.
Oh, is it indie games? I'm sorry, I apologize.
They just made up a word, and indie doesn't exist, so they decided to call it indie games.
Indie games, and there is now a rating system, which apparently the scale is from 4 to 5, and that is the rating system. So I mean, not a lot of change. We had talked in your last appearance about them doing more. About what could Microsoft do to promote this more, and it seems like they haven't done very much. But is there something we're not seeing?
Well, let's see here. So the rating system applies to every product on the game marketplace, which is pretty interesting. It's funny to see Assassin's Creed 2 get dinged in lower rating than Castle Crashers or something. So nothing escapes the rating. So that's kind of cool. The other thing is they actually did apply another category called top downloads, which has not been explained behind the scenes, but we assume it means actually the top downloads. We don't really know if that factors in sales too. They kind of act funny about it when you ask. So there's the top downloads. So basically, gamers come on, they can see what other gamers are downloading, and they can go with the crowd or not, or dip into new arrivals. Like even Live Arcade has that, Game Demos has that, Indie Games has that, which is kind of untested games. You're not quite sure what you're getting unless you read reviews. Outside of that, in terms of promotion from Microsoft, they've done promotion on the dashboard, which is like the gamma ray effect on your game sales. It's insane. Like whatever it is, it mutates your game sales into tremendous proportions if you can magically get into some sort of dashboard promotion that they decide to do. So they'll do a Christmas one maybe, or a Valentine's Day one, or a New Year's Eve one. And any game, arcade, indie, or otherwise, that gets in there, doubles, triples, quadruples their sales. It's insane. So if you just get, if the magic wand comes over and touches your game, go out and party that night, hell that week, because it's awesome. So, but I mean, they did that, so that's cool. But there's not. It's definitely on the developers in terms of promotion, which is why I'm on the Game Critics podcast. Woo! I love you guys too, but I'm also promoting the game we just made. Yeah.
We got you. We know how this works.
Yeah. No, I love you. Come on. Oh, okay, I'm leaving.
You may love us, but I think you probably love our 850,000 listeners just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Only if they have 80 Microsoft points. Those that have 80 Microsoft points, I love them. Anybody with like 60, 20, you guys are screwed. I don't know what you're doing with those 20 points. But.
hopefully something left over from their purchases of premium themes and avatar
Oh,
gauntlets or something.
God.
Brian, since we spoke to you last, I don't, you've announced Rock of the Dead, which of course will be a retail disc. Your Epicenter's first title was a WiiWare game. In looking at the downloadable space for the last 9 months since we've talked, have you looked at downloadable as a potential venue for any of your upcoming products, things that you've talked about at all?
We have internally, we've got a couple smaller iPhone projects going on, but that's something I kind of wanted to ask Nathan. Why kind of focusing on the Xbox Indiecade stuff? I mean, I get XNA and all that kind of stuff, but have you considered looking at WiiWare? Have you considered at iPhone?
Yeah, we are actually taking Weapon of Choice to the PC, and that's not at all what you talked about, but I thought I'd mention it. So we're doing that, which is cool. Yeah, we've looked at the iPhone. Honestly, I need to hire a really good engine programmer, because I'm an engine programmer and I'm just not an engine guy. So that's kind of where we're at. Is just being too small to expand past that right now currently. And I like making games so darn much. I get tired and sleepy when I start thinking about writing low-level system code for WiiWare. So I need to grow up and hire somebody that'll help me with that.
Is it? Do you have the rights to be able to bring Weapon of Choice to iPhone if you could?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We could definitely. We own all the rights to all our games, and we could take it to the iPhone. It's kind of like it's just splitting my time, and I'm still feeling out if the iPhone would be worth the time to do it or not, in terms of how fast games can drop off and lose exposure there too. Not to mention trying to figure out how to make it work on the iPhone. I mean, we've definitely got some ideas, and we've seen other games kind of work like that, but it's sort of intimidating when you have a powerful console sitting there that you can make really big games for, as opposed to iPhone games. So that's kind of the artist in me talking, not the businessman nor the programmer that should know better. So, hey Brian, how many people do you have to work with you?
We've got 14 full-time, and then depending on the needs, we've got probably 5 or 6 contractors at max.
How did you start with your money? I mean, be vague. I'm not trying to...
No.
I'm just curious.
Totally...
Gave money, so I will ask them.
Yeah. No, I'm always happy to be totally upfront about it. I mean, there's definitely no secret about it. We got lucky. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. We ended up, we had a couple of high-profile titles under myself, my business partner's resume. Just like you, we were in the big publisher. We were over at Activision for a while, working on the Call of Duty stuff. And
okay.
when we started this thing, we ended up actually getting an agent, a video game agent. And he helped get us our first the WiiWare title with Konami, because he had some good friends over there, and it was pretty low budget, but it was just getting that foot in the door. We also did get some private investors to help us make a demo for Firefighter, and that was really really bare bones money wise. But again, once you get published once, it kind of snowballs, because then people are asking, hey, what else do you got? Well, hey, check out this demo, and hey, we want to pick that up. That's kind of snowballs a little bit.
Let's move on, and let's talk about your upcoming games. And Brian, I'm going to start with you. Epicenter's new game in development, announced recently, Rock of the Dead. Give us the 30-second hit list. What is Rock of the Dead?
I always ask, have you ever played Typing of the Dead? The answer
Hell
is
yes.
See, for you guys, the answer is yes. But when the people normally I say, "Have you played Typing of the Dead?" I get this kind of blank stare with a little bit of drool coming out of the mouth, and I have to explain it a little bit more. So, I mean, it really is. It's Typing of the Dead. Replace the typewriters with the pieces of plastic we already have in our living rooms, and it's first person on rails light gun game, except you're playing music to kill the enemies, and Patrick Harris is cracking wise during it. There's my 30-second pitch. How was that?
There are so many things in that 30
You had
seconds.
me at Typing of the Dead. So.
Yeah. I burnt so many hours on Typing of the Dead. I'm a huge fan of it, and this game concept is something that it seems so perfect. It's so obvious and perfect and exciting. I have to ask you, and in fact, some of our readers ask this question, and I'm sure you get asked this constantly: is this affiliated in any way with Sega's of the Dead franchise? So is this part of House of the Dead, Typing of the Dead, Pinball of the Dead, or is it just companion in name only?
It would be companion in name only. We haven't talked to Sega since they were kind of rude to us about Firefighter way back in the day. We were shocked that Rock of the Dead was trademarkable. Is that a word? It is now.
Yeah.
There was, and so when you apply for trademarks, you get back this kind of thick pamphlet so lawyers can get paid, and it lists out all the kind of warnings here and there, and there was no warnings with this one. So I mean, who knows what's going to happen down the road? Maybe Sega will get pissed and they have better lawyers than we do, but right now it looks like we're in the clear, and the name, I don't know, it seems to fit really perfectly. I'm pretty happy with it, and so it's got nothing to do with any of the Dead games from Sega.
I have to say, I was really surprised by that, because when I first saw the title, I was like, well, of course it's connected. I mean, how could it not be connected? I mean, it looks just like Typing of the Dead, and I was really shocked that Sega hasn't said anything about it. I mean, maybe they haven't heard, but, are you guys kind of like in the back of your heads bracing for Sega to come knocking at your door?
And this is kind of a different topic, but Sega's probably one of the least of the big boys that we're kind of afraid of. Not really afraid of, but there's and Nathan could probably speak up from his experience as well, but right now, to create a video game, you really have to go through this like legal minefield. It's really kind of nuts between the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of patents out there, and just people owning exclusive libraries, and I mean, it's really kind of nuts out there. Like, I just want to make a game that's fun and not actually have to be a lawyer about this kind of stuff. So, dealing with Activision, Harmonix, and Nintendo about questions about the guitar controllers, it's been tricky, but I think we've successfully navigated every minefield so far. And if Sega wants to call, we'll call and talk. We're definitely not infringing on their stuff. A lot of the things that we've shown so far of Rock of the Dead are definitely the more House of the Dead-y kind of stuff, the zombie type stuff. But that's really about a third of the game. It's really not the focus of the game. So, we're definitely not trying to infringe on anything. That's for sure.
Hey, Brian, do you have any backup names? I'm just wondering.
We've got a couple. We've got a couple.
Just want to see.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's good.
Yeah, we've got contingency plans for sure.
Okay.
How about Real Heroes Zombie Rocker?
I'm gonna write that down if you don't mind.
Absolutely. It is open source. So I've watched some videos of the game. I know one of the things you said about Firefighter that I don't know if you'd call it a regret, but you had mentioned that you maybe should have gone in a less realistic direction with the graphics. And clearly this is a more cartoony look. Was that one of the lessons you learned from Firefighter that you applied to this game?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have to make a game that really fits well in the system with the resources you have. And so my art director he would probably use much more intelligent words than what I'm about to use. But, I mean, it was really all about making sure the contrast levels of the texturing was light enough, because the darker you get, the more aliasing you're going to see. We didn't base our textures based on photographs. They're all hand-painted stuff. we kind of skewed all the art to make it so it's not realistic. So it's a little more, I hate using the term Tim Burton-esque, but just kind of a little campy, a little loopy kind of stuff. But yeah, it was absolutely one of the lessons we learned from Firefighter.
Mm. And you had also mentioned you were particularly proud of the voice acting that you got in Firefighter, and you mentioned Neil Patrick Harris for Rock of the Dead, but it's not just Neil Patrick Harris, is it?
Not at all. Are you guys fans of Dr. Horrible?
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, I just thought that was just one of the purest, most brilliant little pieces of entertainment. Like it's chocolate entertainment. I don't know. It's amazing. So yeah, we ended up Felicia Day and Neil Patrick Harris. Felicia Day plays NPH's potential love interest. It was an awesome. They're both really, really fun to work with, and the cool thing is that we actually got them at a fairly good discount, mostly because they were genuinely interested in the game concept itself. Like they're automatically fans. Like it was really kind of cool to talk to two celebrities who are gamer nerds just like we are. It was definitely it was cool. I'm still shocked that it all came together.
Yeah, I get, and if anything, if they're talking about the game on their Twitter feeds, I think combined they've got like 2 million Twitter followers. So right there, you've got some instant advertising, which is a great thing. Now I have to ask you this, and I guess this is the hard question. There's a lot of geek cred with this game. Certainly Neil Patrick Harris, Felicia Day, Typing of the Dead has a very geek pedigree. Mike and I, obviously, big fans of that. Zombie Killing, very geek, nerd-oriented. Are you concerned at all that the core audience of this game, the geeks, might skew a bit more towards the Xbox, PlayStation consoles, and thus have already purchased their plastic guitars for those consoles?
Yeah, no, I think that's a valid concern. We definitely, if you look at the markets for the actual number of guitars sold, everybody kind of says, I don't have any guitars like on the Wii. Like who the hell bought a guitar on the Wii? I mean, the fact is the guitars on the Wii completely blows away the numbers on the 360 and PS3. Now, I mean, I totally agree with you that the hardcore geeks probably have their equipment on the 360 PS3, but we definitely didn't make this game with a demographic in mind. Like we wanted to make this game how we wanted to make it, and so if we wanted to, sure, we might have put puppies instead of zombies in there. But actually,
that would have gone over really well. Yeah, like white puppies with a guitar. Yeah, that's a pretty good concept.
I would have been all in on that. So
yeah, I'm actually going to write that down right now too.
And you got to put the Real Heroes branding on that game too.
Yeah. Heroes Guitar Puppy Killer.
Yeah,
yeah, because heroes like to kill puppies.
But also, having said that, just after we've announced the game, and nothing's a done deal, of course, until there's ink on paper, there's nothing done deal, but people have approached us to help invest in potentially bring out for the 360 PS3. I probably just jinxed it by saying that, but we'll see down the road, so we'll see. I mean, obviously we want to do that. It's all about resources and kind of coming out. We'll see, but so far so good.
And what kind of rock music can we expect to be Slaughtering Zombies 2?
Good question. So we really kind of it was a tricky question to answer because, again, we got zero budget for this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And so what we ended up doing a trial run on and then running with it was we've got a couple friends who are in bands, two really good friends in particular in Pittsburgh where I went to school. They've got some indie bands that play around town. And we ended up contracting them out to do rocked out versions of classical pieces. So stuff like Brahms, Bizet, Bach, everything that you would recognize right away, but you have no idea what it's called. And that's just I didn't know what these things were called until like, oh, that's that song. So we have about a dozen of these, and it turned out really, really cool. We're also looking into doing a couple of licensed tracks now that we potentially have some further investors, but again, that's kind of down the road, and we'll see. But it's really kind of unique, and really some of these classical pieces are really complicated, and there's multiple parts and multiple time measures, and so I still think that if the big boys really wanted to make rock band classical, it would actually be a pretty kick-ass experience.
I'd be totally open to licensing the theme to Weapon of Choice to you for this.
Yeah. All right. Hey, let's talk afterwards.
Yeah, sure, definitely. It's heavy metal.
Are the classical pieces public domain?
Yeah, they're all public domain.
Uh-huh.
The most recent one was something from like the 1920s, but everything it's all public domain, and even a lot of it's even traditional. It's like there's no composer even attached to a lot of the stuff. But again, everybody, like, as soon as you hear it, you'll know it, and it's just kind of these fun indie band interpretations of the stuff. It's fun. It really seemed to work out really well.
You know, Brian, Huey Lewis is not signed to any of these rock games. I'm just throwing that out there. If you haven't gone down that road, you may want to just check that out.
I'm trying to think of how many guitar riffs are in I Need a New Drug.
Hey, Brian, I'm wondering, are Neil Patrick Harris and Felicia going to be doing any vocals? I know they're doing voiceovers, but are they going to be singing anything? I mean, that seems kind of a natural segue from Dr. Horrible.
Yeah, I would have loved to have that. The ability to have somebody write them songs, and B, really the time frame. My hope, and I know he's a listener to you guys, is that Joss Whedon is going to contact me really shortly, and we'll go from there.
Well, joining us now on the call, Joss Whedon. Joss. Oh.
We will hook you up.
And have you announced a release date for Rock of the Dead yet?
We're looking at summer this summer. We're not sure of an exact release date. We'll probably be after E3, so I would assume July, August right now. We still have a couple months of polish time. There's a couple other features I want to get in. You know, reading message boards definitely gives you an ulcer, but B, gives you some ideas of where people are looking at. So we're able to get feedback already and kind of put that feedback into the game. So I would say mid-late summer this year.
Do you ever just look at the message boards and say to yourself, man, you people are fucking stupid? Because that's usually my reaction.
You know, it depends, and if I agree with them or not. If I don't, then clearly they're fucking stupid, right? But so far the message boards have been pretty good to us, so I'm not complaining at all.
Cool.
Hey, one thing I saw on IGN's preview of the game that they were complaining about was the horizontal scrolling of the notes.
Right.
Was there a reason behind that as opposed to it scrolling vertically?
There's two reasons. One is definitely gameplay. And we have, I think there's a couple sections. We have one designer that hates people. So he has like a couple sections where there's maybe like a dozen, like 12, 13 different enemies on screen. So, and just in order to kind of fit all the measures on screen, it really needed to go horizontal. And the other half of the reason is it's legal. The note highway, the 3D note highway, is actually a patent that we have to work around, and so you can thank Activision for crapping on fun, but we could totally talk about my hatred of video game patents. I mean, that's a video game mechanic. Like, my equivalent would be, James Cameron should now patent the camera shot of somebody's boot hitting the ground. Like, it doesn't happen in cinema. Why do we allow this to happen in video games? And it just kind of sucks. But at the same time, it really, really, it's a gameplay decision. I mean, it just to fit on the screen.
Cool.
And you can just hold the guitar sideways in rockstar position, and you're good to go.
It's funny because it does look weird when you're taking a look at it for the first time. And when we bring in focus testers, we bring in all these kids off Craigslist, which sounds really bad now that I realize what I said. But we had these people check out the game, and there's definitely a moment or two of kind of disorientation, but after literally 15-20 seconds you get it, and then after maybe a mission or a level or two, like you're really running with it. So there is a moment of transition, but it's pretty fleeting.
Brian, I have a question for you about Firefighter. Do you mind?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So I played through Firefighter in a couple nights, had a great time. And I have to ask you about this level because it left such an impression on me. The museum level.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going through the game. It's pretty much grounded in reality. These are actual situations that could occur in real life. These are real things firefighters would do.
And I already know what you're going to say, dude. I already know it, but go ahead.
Okay. You get to the museum level. You get to the top of the museum. You're at the planetarium. All of a sudden, the sun falls from the ceiling and rolls through the museum. It's on fire. Rolls into the lobby. You go down to the lobby, and now the sun is shooting fireballs. And you're dodging fireballs in the lobby of a museum. I'm thinking to myself, this is great. You guys must have just. I have to know what was going through your heads during that, because it was such a crazy, out of nowhere, like, boss fight in the middle of this firefighting game, and there has to be a story behind it. I must know.
Well, our Firefighter technical advisor was actually something that he dealt with at one. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I was gonna say, come on, dude. Come on.
No, it was. So we had a designer that, excuse me, ended up not finishing the project with us for one reason or another, but that was his level originally, and the level went through about 3 or 4 iterations before we finally got the final version of that level. That one and the neighborhood one were kind of problem childs, but it was his idea to have the sun kind of rolling around causing havoc, and then when he left, like, somebody wanted to cut that. I'm like, that's great. Like, I don't know, it seems so ridiculous, kind of so over the top, but it's cool that you enjoyed it. And we didn't have many resources to spend, so, like, exploding the T-Rex skeleton, that was definitely, we put resources on that just because we thought it was cool. So
Yeah.
we weren't going for ultra realism obviously with the game. It was just we're happy to get some video game moments in there.
It was just it just stood out as, like, you guys must have just had a blast on that particular fight. Just like, let's go nuts, and it was just, I really like that moment. So
I'm glad you like that. It's cool, because it is one of my more favorite moments. It's so ridiculous, and it's I don't know, it's cool. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah. Well, we'll look for more information soon on Rock of the Dead coming this summer, and I can't wait. I'm there. I'm absolutely there. So thank you, Brian, for that. Let's move over to Nathan and talk about Shoot 1 Up. This is out. It's been out. It came out Friday, right? And
Yeah.
I have played through it. Brad, I think you played through it.
Multiple times, yeah.
Multiple times. I've been through it twice, and I think the first impression is this is a game that's worth way more than 80 Microsoft points. This is a steal at that price, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, that was it's an experiment. We'll see if it just totally screws our future projects or not.
Because now there's the expectation that all Nathan Fouts games will be 80 gamer points.
Or
gamer score,
or
Microsoft.
Yeah, exactly. Or if I make something for 400, then they have to be 5 times as good as Shoot 1 Up. I don't know. It's going to be tough. Like I said, it's an experiment, just on the dollar market to see if it would work. And so, there's a lot of psychology behind it, but basically it should just be go buy it right now. That's the psychology.
So I'll give you the same opportunity I gave Brian, and that is what is the 30-second log line for Shoot 1 Up, for those who aren't familiar with it?
Sure. Shoot 1 Up is a shoot 'em up. It's a vertical scrolling game, and basically, instead of just having your nuts in a vice and barely being able to get past the first level, this is like a forgiving, enjoyable shoot 'em up where you can kind of sit back and have fun. So in this game, every 1-up that you get turns into a instantly playable player ship. So by the end of a couple levels, you can be flying around with literally a dozen ships all blasting out and shooting giant lasers everywhere. So
I love the look of this game. It calls back to some old PC shooters I used to play. There was one in particular called If It Moves, Shoot It, which is probably 10 or 15 years old. But
Yeah.
I just the look of the game is fantastic. But what I really like about the game is sort of the risk reward mechanic with the triggers. I love the triggers in this game. And it's the premise of, if you hold the right trigger, your fleet spreads out and you get more firepower, but of course you put yourself at risk having your fleet spread out. And if you pull the left trigger, your fleet contracts, so it's easier to dodge things, but you don't have as much firepower. And it seems like the whole game is based around risk and reward. There's branching paths. If you take the harder path, you're more likely to die, but there's more points to be earned. There's just a lot of choice in this game, much more than I would have expected.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the shoot 'em up genre is just rife with possibilities, and I can't wait to make another. I'm totally pumped. I got a dozen different, things I'd like to try out. But I always, if I can, I like to inject player choice into a game, because games are about interactivity. So why don't we have some sort of different kind of higher level, possibilities, interactivities in a game rather than just the primary gameplay mechanic, like just kill things or just unlock puzzles or something like that. So that's how the branching paths kind of came about. And then the risk reward mechanic, yeah, I mean, like since the game is about getting more ships and getting more power, I try to basically ratchet on as many possible little interesting concepts onto it to kind of just make it feel more full. So that's where the risk reward and the powers and everything increasing goes along with the more ships that you get.
Hey Nathan, I'd like to ask you. I was really instantly captivated by the whole mechanic of like the giant laser being shot from the middle of the ship cluster when they're extended. And I've played quite a number of shooters, and I haven't really come across anything that was quite like that. I mean, was there anything in particular that kind of spurred that idea for you, or where did that come from? Because I thought it was pretty brilliant, and for me that was the defining characteristic of that game. Like to me, that's what really puts that game head and shoulders, apart from anything else. I mean, how'd you come up with that, or what was the inspiration for that?
Thanks a lot, Brad. I'm really glad you like it. Basically, because this game was an experiment and because it was going to be a lot smaller in scope, the game almost came out without that. So, but
oh man, can I just say that would have been like disaster. Like I love your games and I love you, but man, that would have sucked like hard. I'm glad you didn't do that.
Well, I know. What I've loved about about developing Shoot One Up, is it's been so dynamic and just so fast, and just it's been wild making this thing because the choices, picking out the designs and going with them or not, has been so fast. I mean, literally, we were within like less than 4 months on the whole development, and so that particular mechanic, I took it in front of my best friend, and you can thank him. My best friend, by the way, is Matt Griffin. He invented the Baker's Edge, and it's a brownie pan that only has edges. And he actually was just featured on CBS Sunday Morning this morning. So,
dude, that is brilliant. When you see him, tell him I'm totally buying one of those because everybody knows the edges are the best part of brownies. Hands down.
And it makes fantastic brownies. But anyway,
I'm going to tell my wife right now. Hold on.
But anyway, he and I grew up playing games. I mean, he's the guy that I play games with all the time, and I put it down in front of him without him knowing. I haven't played it much before, and he played it and he liked it, and he was just like, and we used to, we play shoot 'em ups all the time, and he was just like, I just feel like when you spread out your ships, previously the score multiplier is what was connected to spreading out your ships. So you could spread them out more, and you'd be in more trouble, but you could get higher scores. And I wish I thought of it. He was like, put some kind of gameplay connected to spreading out your ships. And I'm like, wow, gameplay, right. That's awesome. So, and yeah, I mean, the rest is history. The gameplay connection is basically, I liked Metal Black. It's on the Saturn. It's a port. It's like a weird shoot 'em up with all kinds of freaky kind of biomechanical aliens. And it does the Dragon Ball Z thing, and I'm not a huge Dragon Ball Z fan, but it has a Mega Blast in this Metal Black game where you fight with these giant laser beams. It's really cool. The actual game's not that fun, but the concept's really cool. And I just thought, I would love to see something like that. I want like a lot of power to come out of your ships, and also like Batsugan, Dodonpachi, all the classic bullet hell games. I thought those were inspiration too, in terms of like actually doing the art for the plasma auger. The plasma auger is the giant mega shot that you get. So that was it. It almost didn't come to be, and I'm a moron for not thinking of it originally. But it came about. So thank Matt.
The first time the giant laser happened while I was playing, I was like, "How did that happen? How do I get that to happen again?"
How do I do that again?
and once I figured it out, man, I was just totally hooked on it. Yeah, I'm not so much of a score whore when it comes to playing these kind of games. So yeah, I'm totally glad that you attached that to it. It made it definitely a big hook for me.
Oh, totally. I mean, like, when I saw that the first time, I'm like, oh my god, massive energy penis, this rocks. And it was just like, it totally made the game, like by far. So give your friend my regards and tell me to
Yeah,
well.
he knows, and he's got his ego is swelling. It's But it's funny that you said like massive energy penis and the naked woman level, because a a lot of people think it's, all that kind of stuff is juvenile, and I'm not saying it's not. It totally is. It's very teenagery, but I think I kind of like the room. At least in my head, I like to pretend that I'm exploring some sort of gender aggression issues and that kind of stuff. Games like this. Honestly, goodness, I kind of think it's like you're attacking, like women are intimidating. They're coming at you with their breasts, and honest to goodness, that was in my head when I was designing this stuff. I know it doesn't come across like that, but it's true. So
That's exactly what I thought of. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great sell for the wife, right?
Yeah. She's not buying it, she said.
It's a feminist manifesto.
Right.
Yeah.
So the did you intend for kind of a culture of high score to form around this game? Because it does seem geared towards high score competitions, but there's no mechanism, I don't believe, in the indie games to have like an online leaderboard type thing. So was that your intent, though?
No, there is a kind of a broken ad hoc method you can use for creating these half-assed shared leaderboards, and some of the games support that. I just look at it from a consumer standpoint. I'll buy one of these games, and I'll look at the leaderboards, and it'll say no one's in first place. It'll say no one's in my global leaderboards, and then I'll think it's broken. But then apparently, if you wait long enough, an hour, I don't know, whatever it is, it shares it or something. I'm not implementing that. That sounds like crap, and until something gets fixed, until there's proper leaderboards, I'll do it. As for the game itself, I love Gigawing, and I love gigantic scores, and so I like the concept of sort of having this almost like these 2 score levels. So it's like you play the game like normal, and you're like, oh, cool, I'm doing pretty well. I got like 10 million. And then your friend's like, oh, that's nothing. I got 120 million. And you're like, how the hell did you get that? You're like, oh, well, when you figure out this whole system, like essentially the shield system, once you figure out that, you get these ridiculous scores. And that is, I love that system because you can kill a single enemy and get like a 1,000,000 point drop out of him, or even higher. It's nuts. And so I think that's kind of exhilarating when I see that as a player. Now, with that said, Brian's mentioned the message boards. I try not to eat while I'm reading those. But again, there are definitely useful because you get like a barometer of what everybody's kind of feeling. And a few people have mentioned they feel like it's just too excessive, that the shield mechanism breaks some of the scoring. So in the next update, I'm looking at introducing just a slightly tweaked score multiplier system based on the shield. That'll actually hopefully be a little bit more addictive. So, but also a little bit more reasonable in terms of how the scores are meted out.
Yeah, I didn't figure out the shield system until like towards the end of my second playthrough. Mm-hmm. And honestly, let me ask you this, because I don't quite know how this works in the game. But obviously, if you don't shoot, your shield forms, and then when you shoot after your shield forms, this explosion happens, and you can one-hit kill and get these massive scores. But what effect does the shield actually have on your individual ships? Like, how many hits does it protect me from? Is there a benefit to keeping the shield up and not firing?
That's a good point, and something I'd like to address in an update to hopefully make that more clear. It's a tough one. Basically, that circular shield protects you against nothing. That's not the shield. That's the shield being ready. Mm. And so, and I made it a circle so that you could get so that you know where the shield will affect once you shoot. I'm trying to think of better ways to communicate that so that people know it's not an active shield. So I called it a flash shield because once you press the shoot button, it's active for about 4 frames of the game. So it's literally like a split second, and it's there to basically stop bullets. But if you're good, like an advanced player will use it to kill enemies. And like I said at the beginning, this whole game is built around to draw in. I want to pull in more normal action gamers into shoot 'em ups because I think they'll dig them. But I also think they're put off by shoot 'em ups. So this game is easy to get into, and that more advanced stuff is kind of out there for the harder core guys that have been actually digging it. But so the shield works in. You let it warm up, it doesn't do anything. It actually grows in size the longer you let it warm up. And then when you press the shoot button, it instantly kills bullets, and it delivers damage to anything within range. And because it acts over a few frames, it's really strong. And if you can get multiple ships around, all with their shield going and zap something, you really can nick the crap out of it. So that's how you get the one-hit kills.
Thank you for that explanation. I'm going to go back and try that now.
I don't know why you didn't put that in the introduction. I mean, it only took you like paragraphs to explain.
Obviously, I tried to make it kind of like in Raiden Fighters Aces. A lot of that gameplay, what I like about that game is, that whole collection is the gameplay kind of just comes about as you play more. And like Tim said, he played and kind of figured it out, and that's hopefully I've made it intuitive enough that people can kind of get it. Once they once they tried out the little tutorial at the beginning and they see the controls. But I am looking at ways to hone it, to make it all the much better. So we'll see.
Okay. Well, fantastic. Any other questions on Shoot One Up? I know we're running short on time, so I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to ask their questions.
Yeah.
I did want to say that the movie that I was referencing before was Chungking Express.
There you go.
Yeah.
See,
So,
you know what, dude, you know what threw me was that he made Ashes of Time and then he like remade Ashes of Time. So like I was thinking of him remaking it and
Sure, Mike. Sure.
So Nathan, Shoot One Up is your Chungking Express.
Okay, that's cool. I like that. I'll
that's
that in the marketing.
Yeah.
Which will be more effective, metal blue breasts or references to Chungking Express?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
You can let us know after, like in 6 months, we'll ask him.
yes.
I've heard that eloquently phrased as neon cerulean tits. By the way, Tim.
Oh, that's far more eloquent.
Yeah,
Right there.
I like that.
Yeah.
Somebody is a poet.
Well, to close things out here, we are frequently asked by our listeners, whenever we have guests, to ask what other games that the guests have been playing. If you even have time to be a real gamer and play video games just for fun. Brian, I'll start with you. Have you had an opportunity to play anything outside of work? And if so, what was it and what were your thoughts?
I kind of got lucky, and I had the flu for about 3 weeks in January, which
I got lucky. I had the flu.
Absolutely. It allowed me to finish Mass Effect 2 and BioShock 2 like back to back because I did nothing but like sleep and like sit on the couch. So I'm telling you, it was like incredibly lucky. Both games were a lot of fun. I played based on Brad's recommendation from a while ago, Explosion Man as well. That was pretty cool.
Excellent. We will refrain from asking you for a detailed Mass Effect 2 opinion, lest Brad disconnect immediately from the call. Nathan, what about you? Have you had a chance to play anything recently?
Well, I'm definitely jealous of Brian's flu. That's awesome. I've been playing Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Raiden 4, new Super Mario Brothers on the Wii, and Blaster Master Overdrive, and Blowing His Blob.
Wow, you're a busy man.
No, that's like 15, 30 minutes a day, and I cycle them. I cycle them all.
Okay.
So, got them saved everywhere at different points.
Groovy. Interesting Blaster Master Overdrive. Some people have made comparisons between Blaster Master and Grapple Buggy. You're not doing research, presumably, but to people who've made that comparison, what would you say?
Oh, it's absolutely research. I want to see what else doing. I got to say, whatever that is, a zip line completely sucks. So that's awesome. So if they enjoy Blaster Master Overdrive, they're gonna think their heads are gonna pop off when they play Grapple Buggy. That's all I gotta say.
Fantastic. And I don't think I asked you, when can we expect a release date on Grapple Buggy?
Can I get like an echo effect on this when I say the future? Future. Yeah. If a live arcade deal works out, then it would be a while. But if it doesn't, then possibly this fall. We'll see. Yeah. Keep an eye on the website, mommysbestgames.com.
We will do that. Well, I know we're out of time, So I'm going to close things up by saying our good nights. Nathan Fouts, Mommy's Best Games. Shoot One Up is on Xbox Live. Indie games right now for the insane bargain price of 80 Microsoft points. Grapple Buggy upcoming. Nathan, thanks so much for coming back and being on the show with us again.
Absolutely, it was a real blast. Thanks to everybody, and eat more pie.
Always good advice. Always good advice.
If any of you guys are going to GDC, I'll be there next week, like Tuesday to Friday. And PAX, hey, I should have said this on the show, but we'll be at PAX East too at the booth actually. Oh, okay. Here's the deal. Hey everybody, come to PAX East and Mommy's Best Games booth. And if you mention that you heard it on Game Critics podcast, you get a free Grapple Buggy bumper sticker.
Oh,
Awesome.
nice. Now here's the thing: if nobody shows up, you must never tell me, because it would be the most depressing thing ever. Brian Jury, Epicenter Studios. The next game is Rock of the Dead, coming to the Wii soon. Look for news on epicenterstudios.com.
Yeah, that's right. And I'd like to say during this conversation, Nathan actually just sold me a copy of Shoot One Up, so I'm looking forward to playing it once we get. I will play anything that's a two-player co-op, especially at $1. Like, you'd be stupid not to buy this.
Thanks, Brian. That's awesome.
I believe we call that synergy.
Yes.
So again, thank you both so much for joining us, and do come back anytime. My thanks also to Chi Kong Liu, Brad Gallaway, Mike Bracken, Bob Costas, and of course, you, the listener. My voice is almost shot, so I'll wrap it up by saying I'm Tim Spaeth, good night, and bon chance.
Well, let's go ahead and bring the dudes in. And,
Bring them in.
On this.
All right. Here we go. Brace yourselves.
Bracing for impact.
Activate interlocks. Dinotherms connected.
Dinotherms connected.
Infracells up.
Nerding out tonight.
Mega thrusters are go.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
I get to form the head. I don't care what you guys say.
Jesus.
Hey, which one of you hated the trigger controls on Weapon of Choice? Tim?
That was me.
That was Mike.
And actually, that was Mike, because Mike wasn't on the show. Mike,
It was me and Tim.
That's right. I took the heat. I took all the heat for that. Because
Took all the heat on that one. Thank you.
Mike was away.
I've since come to think that I think hate is too strong a word.
Have you played the update?
No, I haven't, because my 360 red ringed and it's out of warranty, and I just still haven't gotten it fixed. So.
Oh yeah. Okay, well, I added in like 4 control schemes now, basically for you guys. Honest to goodness.
Excellent.
all right.
I'm totally flattered by that. So.
Appreciated it too. You know what I mean? I've gotten some emails that people are like, "Hey, that's really cool. I use this version versus the other." But basically, for you guys, playing so much.
Well, that's my job here. That's my role on the show. I just bitch about everything every week. So if I don't, then I don't have anything to say, and everybody's like, "Where was my fist?"
I wanted to rib you some, but also tell you that it was beneficial. It's beneficial, you know.
Well, I'm glad, because I really did. I enjoyed the game. It's just the trigger was so counterintuitive for me for some reason. I just could never get over the hump with it, and it was like I was really digging the game, but I was having a hell of a time playing it for that very reason. So I will definitely check.
Yeah.
Now, my question is, first of all, Nathan, that's fantastic, but I had no idea, and maybe this cuts to one of the key problems with the independent games platform is if I wasn't podcasting with you, how would I have known that update had been made?
Well, that's a good question. It actually kind of solves itself because I tend to podcast with every person that's bought the game. So I just personally called and I say, "Hey Tim, how's it going? By the way, I updated. Look at my list of about 6 people, and they called them, and that's done. Update. So you guys are the last guys on the list. You already know, so everybody knows now.
Fantastic.
That's pretty fantastic customer service. That's
Yeah,
outstanding.
yeah, today this is how we do it. No, it's a totally broken system. It's really effed up. But anyway. And Brad, your dinner stuff is awesome on Twitter. Just gotta say,
Oh, seriously?
menus are always a fun to read about. It's really cool.
Okay, cool. I was actually thinking about like scaling back because there's been that recent backlash against "What are you eating?" tweets, but I'll dial it back up for you.
Well, I just always wonder how Brad doesn't weigh 400 pounds based on what he eats.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because every time I look, it's like I'm having fucking crepes, or I'm like eating pie, or this like exotic fattening food, and I'm like, I look at that and I weigh 300 pounds if I even think about eating it. So
No, the bad thing is when you're reading his tweet and you're holding a bowl of fruity pebbles, and it's like, oh
Yeah.
God.
I just wrong.
what have I done wrong with my life?
Yeah, exactly.